Extra lives in Mario games are collectibles that start off useful but eventually become kind of useless. I only say this because over long play sessions, it's very likely you'll accrue a large amount of extra lives, and the fear of game overs sort of subsides. But even if these 1-ups become pointless in the eyes of some players, developers use them in association with their best secrets. We see this time and time again within 3D Mario games, where 1-ups are hidden very carefully in levels, and sometimes these secret 1-ups aren't even marked with official strategy guides. These 1-ups are for the most thorough of players with a sense of adventure. And in today's video, we're once again going on the hunt. Join me as we talk about Super Mario Sunshine's most absurd extra life. I hope you enjoy. Finding out things from the past that I never knew about as a kid is a really cool experience, but so is finding out that beloved series from that era of gaming have made a return. And honestly, it's about time. The Chrono Cross crossover story Complex Dream is now available in Another Eden. Chrono Cross, the follow-up game to Chrono Trigger, was a monumental RPG when it came out over 2 decades ago. The writer for Another Eden, Masato Kato, also was the writer for the Chrono series, which makes this crossover event perfect. Embark on a journey beyond time and space in the ultimate single-player JRPG by the creators behind the Chrono series. The theme of parallel worlds is revisited in this crossover. Relive the Chrono Cross experience with appearances by Lynx, Starkey, and Glenn. This free crossover includes exclusive music overseen by Yasunori Mitsuda, who was behind the original Chrono series soundtracks, and it features unique Chrono mechanics including New Game Plus, multiple endings, and more. So, if you're ready to relive the glory days of Chrono Cross, click the link in the description below to play Another Eden today. And a big thanks to Another Eden for sponsoring this video. Let's head out on our 1-up quest. Now, while I find that extra lives typically become useless in most 3D Mario games, even to the point where Super Mario Odyssey just scrapped the concept altogether, out of any game that they are truly valuable in, I would say that Super Mario Sunshine takes the cake. There's so many downright absurd challenges and missions in this game that'll make you want to pull your hair out. And these challenges are the reason why you will go through every single one of your lives. So on that front, it's no surprise that people started hunting for 1-ups wherever they could. Probably the most visited mission out of any for extra life farming was Pianta Village's 5th episode, Secret of the Village Underside. When hopping around on the mushrooms down below, it wasn't long until you came across a ton of 1-ups. Very rarely does a game put 4 1-ups in the same area, and lots of players farmed these. However, this same mission also had an infinite 1-up spawn. If you make your way down to the bottom with Yoshi, you can clear your way to a glorious Chuckster area, one of the worst Mario areas in existence. Once inside, if you're lucky and get manhandled like a proper gentleman, you'll eventually find yourself with a dude who's all about height. He'll fling you topside into an area that continually spawns strolling stews. From here, you can just flip these guys over and knock a group out at once, thus spawning a 1-up. As long as you don't defeat all the enemies at once, or erase the paint with FLUDD, they should keep respawning. So you can farm away and get your sweet, sweet green mushrooms. Or if you're classy, you can ground pound multiple stews at the same time, to yield even more extra lives at once. But we're going to exit this level now. Infinite 1-ups are cool, but elusive 1-ups are honestly what I'm all about. So we're heading over to Ricco Harbor to pursue a rarity. On the Ricco Harbor episode selection screen, we're going to go to episode 8, Yoshi's Fruit Adventure, a mission in Super Mario Sunshine that is certainly loved by all. During this mission, Mario needs to get a durian over to Yoshi near the back of the level, so the purple fruit juice can transform a nearby enemy into a platform. That will then take Yoshi over to the floating metal platforms. This is basically where the level is directing you to go. The opening cutscene shows the fruit containers and the platforms, so the player instantly knows they have to head over there. Especially since this is their 8th mission in the level, and they know it pretty well by this point. But I think this setup is also the perfect distraction too, because psychologically, the player wants to get from point A to point B, so they run past a lot of stuff along the way. And one of those things that players run past are 3 Piantas, floating in yellow duck inner tubes. If a player approaches these fellas in the water, nothing happens at all. And about the only thing that it looks like the player can do is jump on their heads. With this, players move on though. But it turns out there are more things that the player can do with these floating Piantas. However, they have to wait a long time near the water's edge in order to talk to them. The swimmers are on a set path and wander around the water, but if Mario kills enough time, they will eventually reach the shore. Well, at least 2 of the 3 will. If Mario then hits the B button when they're grazing the shore, he can begin talking to them. The Brown Rider wants to set the record straight by letting Mario know that he was technically the first Duck Ring Rider, which is what this group is referred to as. If we wait long enough in the same spot, the Pink Rider will eventually approach us and tell us that they are feeling a bit queasy. But that's it. Both of these riders add nothing suggestive with their dialogue. Nothing at all that hints that they are hiding a secret treasure for a curious player. Because of this, it would make sense for a player to potentially talk to one of these three people and then just move on, since their dialogue adds nothing of value. But the truth is, all three of these characters are switches. So, with two now hit, we must track down the third. Just like the previous two, there's only one spot on the level where the Blue Rider can be talked to. They swim all the way around the ship really slowly, and you have just a second to talk to them. Mario must be standing on the metal ramp deck on the back of the ship, otherwise he'll miss his chance. And when we speak to this rider, we get an interesting message. Normally, they talk about how they can't paddle because it's tough, but because they are the third and final rider to be talked to, their text changes. They now state the following, quote, "You actually managed to talk to the 3 Duck Ring Riders. You're amazing. Here you go. This is your reward." End quote. And when this conversation stops, a 1-up spawns at the start of the level. And this is bizarre? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a really cool hidden 1-up, but it's just kind of interesting that there's no hint or anything that all three of these people can be talked to, and that they all collectively unlock a prize. The prize dialogue is almost taunting too, stating, "We actually managed to talk to them," hinting that they know it's a pain in the butt to try to do so. This 1-up that spawns does not disappear, and will just sit there until the player collects it. It's quite the odd prize, but it's certainly a 1-up I never got as a kid. How about you? Did you know about this? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers!